Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba, Bankide Imo TV. I am yours faithfully, Moriwe Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news this hour. Ndlea releases video evidence of Abba Kyari's drug cartel links. IGP should publicly hand over Abba Kyari to Ndlea to prove innocence, lawyer. And finally, DSP Abba Kyari arrested. Ondo court jails widow for brutalizing a person hold with a razor blade, and also girl escaped from suspected people tagged as ritualists in Delta. Boko Haram orders recruits over 8,000 child soldiers in 13 years. Foreign story: Nigerian students spirit threat as tension rises at Russia-Ukraine border. Finally, sport: Napoli versus Inter. Italians media mocks and knocks of Osimhen. Now the news in details. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea, has revealed video evidence against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari. Ndlea showed footage of Kyari trying to bribe one of its operatives in a bid to carry out the drugs east in the country. Recall that the agency had declared him wanted over alleged links to a drug cartel. Ndlea is the Director of Media and Advocacy. Ndlea is Director of Media and Advocacy. Femi Babafemi had linked the former intelligence response team IRT boss to a drug cartel operating the Brazil, Ethiopia, Nigeria illicit drug pipeline. Babafemi, while addressing the press conference, also gave details of how Kyari approached its operative to help in the cartel's operation. To further buttress the Ndlea's claims against Kyari, the footage of him giving the operative words of dollar bills was released. Still on the Abba Kyari story, an Abuja-based human rights lawyer, Pelumi Olajengbesi, has urged Inspector General of Police Usman Baba to immediately hand over suspended head of the intelligence response team, DSP Abba Kyari, to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to prove his innocence. Olajengbesi made this known in a statement on Monday, hours after the Ndlea declared Kyari wanted over alleged drug links. He said the IGP must immediately order the arrest of Abba Kyari and hand him over to the Ndlea at a public press conference if truly the police did not shield bad eggs. The IGP must prove that he is not backing Abba Kyari in his alleged atrocious crimes exposed in the public clear in the last 1 year. Ndlea spokesperson Femi Babafemi, at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, had chronicled how Kyari belonged to a drug cartel that operates the Brazil, Ethiopia, Nigeria illicit drug pipeline. The anti-drug agency said Kyari contacted one of its offices in Abuja and struck a deal to secure the release of a total of 25 kg seed cocaine. Babafemi said after the agency gave the officer the green light to play along, he and Kyari began a WhatsApp call for the rest of the day. The officer conveyed their willingness to play the game. And another interesting one concerning Abba Kyari. Following allegations of drug trafficking by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force on Monday have arrested Deputy Commissioner of Police, DSP Abba Kyari. According to the police, Kyari has been handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. The embattled head of the intelligence response team was arrested alongside 4 others on Monday. Kyari was arrested hours after National Drug Law Enforcement Agency declared him wanted over alleged drug trafficking. The agency said the embattled top police officer, Abba Kyari, is a member of an international drug cartel. The Ndlea added that the investigations has revealed that Kyari is a member of a drug syndicate that operates across the globe. The spokesperson for the force, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, confirmed Kyari's arrest in a statement on Monday afternoon. Other offenses listed against Kyari and 4 others are discreditable, unethical, and unprofessional conduct, official corruption, and tampering with exhibits in the case of illicit drug trafficking involving a perpetual transactional drug cartel. More of the world story is another one coming from Ondo State. A widow and 36-year-old mother of 4, Mrs. Okoyemi Omoyemi, was yesterday sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for doing what is not necessarily needed and inflicting body injuries on his son, Elps Joel Sunday, for selling a piece of meat. A magistrate court sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, sentenced Owoyemi following her arraignment on a 5-count charge. She was sentenced to 3.5 years imprisonment with hard labor on 1-count charge, murdering on a grievous harm, while she bagged 1 year imprisonment on count 5. The defendant was said to have used a stick and razor blade to do the damage on the body of the house help, which she accused of stealing pieces of meat from the pot of soup. Omoyemi, according to the police prosecutor, Emmanuel Tadimowo, was said to have committed the offense on February 6, 2022 at a residence located at Idimango, Adewale axis of Ondo Road, Akure, at the state capital. Tadimowo, during the trial, applied for the withdrawal of the count 4 charges, which were granted by the magistrate, Mrs. O.A. Edwin. The defense counsel, Folusho Kyari, who pleaded with the court to be lenient with the defendant, said the defendant was a first-time offender. Kyari also informed the court that Omoyemi, who is the mother of 4 little children, had been the one responsible for the welfare of the victim. According to the court should be lenient in passing sentence on the defendant. The prayer for leniency is that the defendant has been the one solely responsible for the well-being and education of the 12-year-old Sunday. She has been doing this dutifully for the past 4 years since the death of her husband. Another story coming from Delta State making the world news this hour. A girl named Woodell has been rescued after 3 teenage boys suspected to be Yahoo boys, internet fraudster, attempted to court her for money ritual. Platform Times gathered that the incident happened on Sunday at Marcourt Road in Opaka, Delta State. Platform Times further gathered that the victim was returning home from where she went to buy shawarma when the attackers unleashed violence on her. The girl was, however, lucky as her attackers could not sever her head when the help came to her. An eyewitness said the girl was rescued by a driver of a vehicle who drove towards the direction and flashed its flashlight on the suspects, prompting them to flee into the bush, leaving the victim with several cuts in a pool of blood. The driver, who preferred anonymity, immediately rushed the victim to one FAB clinic where she is currently receiving treatment. The victim was said to be recuperating at the clinic. Another story coming from the disheartening Boko Haram happening. The United Nations Children's Fund has said that more than 8,000 girls and boys have been recruited and used as child soldiers in different roles by armed groups across Nigeria. This was contained in a statement by UNICEF on Monday titled, UNICEF calls for end to recruitment and use of child soldiers to commemorate the International Day Against the Use of Child Soldiers, known better as Red Hand Day. UNICEF Chief of Maiduguri Field Office, Fion T. Nguyen, said for 13 years, armed conflict in northeast Nigeria has claimed thousands of lives, disrupted livelihoods and access to essential services for children and their families. According to her, nearly 1 million homes and 5,000 classrooms have been razed in the protracted armed conflict. We call for an immediate end to the recruitment and use of innocent children as soldiers or for any other conflict-related role. It is unacceptable and unconscionable that girls and boys continue to serve on the front lines of a conflict they did not start, she said. Nguyen, however, called for an end to the recruitment and use of children by armed groups in Nigeria and the release of those in the custody of such groups. To a foreign story. Uneasy calm is manifesting among Nigerians studying in Ukraine following the rise of prices at the Russia-Ukraine border. Ukraine, a Soviet republic, was once a part of the Russian Empire before it gained independence in 1991 during the split of the United Socialist Soviet Republic. According to Associated Press, a decision by an ex-Ukrainian president, Viktor Yanukovych, to reject an association agreement with the European Union and choosing to favor closer ties with Russia sparked a mass protest that led to the president's impeachment. AP noted that in 2015, a peace agreement was brokered by France and Germany, leading to the end of large-scale battles that left sporadic skirmishes in their wake. At the beginning of 2022, Ukraine lamented that over 90,000 Russian troops were stationed at a site close to the border of both countries. The Ukrainian Defense Minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, on Friday also said that number of Russian troops near Ukraine and Crimea, an annex of Russia, was estimated at 94,300 and warned of a large escalation. AP further reported that Russia accused Ukraine of dishonoring the 2015 peace deal. Russia required Ukraine to grant autonomy to rebel regions and offer amnesty to rebels and criticize the West and NATO allies for providing Ukraine with weapons. And finally, sports news. The Italian media has taken a swipe at Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen in the wake of his performance in Napoli's 1-1 draw at home to reigning Serie A champions Inter Milan on Saturday, Punch Sport Extra reports. The media outfit Corriere dello Sport, Corriere della Sera, La Gazzetta dello Sport, and Tutto Sport all claim the 23-year-old was not at his usual best at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. The Pantinopi took an early lead in the match following a Lorenzo Insigne penalty after Osimhen was fouled in the area before an Edin Dzeko strike restored parity for the visitors. The Super Eagles striker failed to take advantage of the plethora of chances presented to him on the counter. Despite his contribution in the game, Osimhen's performance against Inter did not convince Italian media, with Corriere dello Sport feeling that the Nigerian was never decisive in the match like he had been for the club. Corriere della Sera also echoed similar views, saying Osimhen made the whole Nerazzurri defense dance but more, saying in needed in front of goal. That was the world news. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Once again, Ndlea releases video evidence of Abba Kyari's drug cartel links. IGP should publicly hand over Abba Kyari to Ndlea to prove innocence, lawyer. And finally, breaking, DSP Abba Kyari arrested. Ondo court jails widow for doing avoidable error with razor blade. A girl escaped from suspected ritualists in Delta. We also brought to you Boko Haram. Others recruit over 8,000 child soldiers in 13 years. UNICEF. Nigerian students parent threat as tension rises at Russia-Ukraine border. That's coming from the foreign scene. And lastly, sport. Napoli versus Inter. Italia's media knocks Osimhen. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. For more updates on our YouTube channel, the handle is Bagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates of our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page for you to get updated as well. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For other placements of goods and services and coverage of events and function, the phone number streaming on your screen is the direct line to call. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.